We're staying with our NHS coverage, and as you'd expect from what its creator called a real piece of socialism, there was an ambition within the NHS from its inception that women should have the same career opportunities as men.
But as many try to juggle the demands of family life with intense medical training, it hasn't always worked out that way. For the second in our series of reports to mark today's celebrations, Callum Watkinson has been looking at the role of women in the modern NHS.
In Coventry, plastic surgeon Joanna Skillman carrying out routine breast surgery, assisted by a largely female team. She began her career in the late 1990s and feels her gender has been no bar to her progress.
I think that there are challenges, whether you're male or female, whatever your gender, going through medical training, because there are some sacrifices that you have to make, sometimes where you would rather not be at work and you have to be. But I don't think that, for me, that's been particularly the case as a female compared to a lot of my male colleagues.
On July 5th, the new National Health Service...
When the NHS was born, there were, of course, far fewer women doctors than there are now.
Now don't forget, choose your doctor now.
And attitudes have progressed somewhat from a time it was assumed a surgeon would be a he.
The surgeon is the general conducting the battle. Assistants and nurses are his army, quiet, deft, unhurried.
But statistics from the British Medical Association show a persistent imbalance at advanced levels. Their data from last year show women now make up almost half of all doctors, and amongst those at specialty and associate specialist level, women now outnumber men. But at consultant level, only 36% are women. Little change since 2012, says the BMA, which adds there's been little or no change amongst surgeons either, where just 11% were women in 2016.
When I went to medical school, only 10% of the medical students were women.
Ruth Chambers is the clinical chair of the Stoke-on-Trent Clinical Commissioning Group, a senior management position, but she used to practice as a GP. That's an area where women have always been well represented.
In my day, it was very hard for a female young doctor to qualify in a specialty like surgery because the doctors there didn't want them. And some of it is that women doctors, as they go through their careers, want to have more work-life balance than male doctors do.
Perhaps the challenge then for the NHS is to make training structures for surgeons more family-friendly. And Jo Skillman says the Callum reforms of the 1990s did just that.
Prior to that, every year you would have to apply for another training position, and I think that did present more challenges for women because you had less guarantee of progression. And I think when Callum came in, it made it slightly easier because you could then have a period of maternity leave or have more flexibility and still then go back to work.
Whatever the reason for the disparity, it may be some time before half her surgical colleagues are women. Callum Watkinson, ITV News.